This is TechCrunch.
"23andMe, the personal genomics company, went public in early 2021 via a merger with a blank check company that valued it at $3.5 billion. Then its fortunes began to sink. Fading interest in DNA kits, 23andMe's main product, was one driver. So was news last year that hackers stole ancestry data on 6.9 million of its users. CEO and co-founder Anne Wojcicki now reportedly wants to take the 18-year-old company private. After her own proposal to buy it was rebuffed by its board in July, she was given time to wangle another deal. But its independent directors announced Tuesday evening they've lost faith that another proposal is coming, adding that because of Wojcicki's concentrated voting power, they're done, effective immediately. The company's market cap closed the day at $173 million. Losing its glittering board, which included Sequoia Capital's Roelof Botha and YouTube CEO Neil Mohan, among 5 others, will likely drive its shares down further. One question is whether a shareholder lawsuit might follow. Investment powerhouse BlackRock is set to launch a massive AI-focused fund, exceeding $30 billion, in collaboration with Microsoft and the Abu Dhabi-backed investment outfit MGX, the Financial Times reported today. According to the outlet, the fund, among Wall Street's largest, will focus on creating data centers and funding energy infrastructure to support AI. Chip giant NVIDIA is also reportedly contributing its expertise around the already onerous energy demands of AI technologies, which are only expected to grow. BlackRock is launching the fund with Global Infrastructure Partners, GIP, which BlackRock agreed to acquire for $12.5 billion in a deal back in January. GIP is now BlackRock's infrastructure investment unit. Discord, one of the largest group chat apps in the world, announced on Tuesday that audio and video calls inside the platform will now be end-to-end encrypted, meaning even Discord won't know what users in those conversations talk about. In the last 10 years, end-to-end encrypted chat went from being a rare exception, think Skype in the mid-2000s, to a technology used by the world's most popular chat apps such as iMessage, WhatsApp, Signal, and Facebook Messenger, among others. Discord was born as a group chat platform for gamers, with an emphasis on audio calls for users playing online games together, but also became popular with people who simply want a place where a large number of people can interact. Discord, which claims to have 200 million monthly users, announced last year that it was working on bringing end-to-end encryption to its platform, starting with audio and video calls, saying that at any given moment, millions of people are talking via calls on Discord. Now, the company is rolling out the technology. Today, we'll start migrating voice and video in DMs, group DMs, voice channels, and Go live streams to use E2EE. You will be able to confirm when calls are end-to-end encrypted and perform verification of other members in those calls. Stephen Berarda, Discord's staff software engineer on audio-video infrastructure, wrote in a blog post announcing the rollout, as well as explaining technical details of the technology Discord is implementing. Berarda said that private messages, on the other hand, will not be end-to-end encrypted. Safety is intertwined with our product and policies. While audio and video will be end-to-end encrypted, messages on Discord will continue to follow our content moderation approach and are not end-to-end encrypted, wrote Berarda. Discord spokesperson Kelly Sloan told TechCrunch that the company has no further plans at this time to roll out encryption in other areas, such as direct messages or group chats. Berarda announced that the company is releasing a paper about its encryption protocol, which he said was reviewed by the cybersecurity consulting firm Trail of Bits, as well as open sourcing the code. NASA wants to establish a permanent human presence on the moon, but right now, astronauts have to be in direct line of sight with Earth to phone home. The space agency is looking to change that with its developing Near Space Network, and it's willing to pay potentially huge sums to private companies to help make continuous lunar communications a reality. Those plans got a boost today when NASA announced it had awarded Intuitive Machines a contract to build and deploy a satellite constellation capable of providing navigation and communications for future missions on or around the moon. The Houston-based company is best known for pulling off the first-ever private moon landing in February. That mission was cut short after the lander tripped on a rock and landed on its side, but it still counts. The company sells a rideshare service to the moon, but payloads can only transmit data when in direct line of sight with a ground station. The task order contract for the lunar relay has a maximum potential value of $4.82 billion, though that doesn't mean Intuitive Machines will definitely be paid out that much over the 5-year contracting period. The task order, which also includes an option to extend another 5 years, only guarantees $150 million according to a regulatory filing. But it's likely that the lunar satellite constellation, plus communications and navigation services, will top out at more than the base price. Satellite relays stretching from geosynchronous orbit to near the moon's orbit will also be essential to NASA's nearer-term ambitions to land humans on the moon's south pole before the end of the decade. According to the agency, that region of the moon provides few landing opportunities that are in direct communication with Earth's ground stations. But even beyond crewed missions, a lunar relay could also enable new capabilities for uncrewed missions, like remote or autonomous operation of rovers, plus navigation services and boosted data transmission rates for payloads on the moon's surface. This infrastructure won't just benefit NASA. Private industry, including Intuitive Machines, will likely need more robust communications for future moon missions. Intuitive Machines, which went public last year, counts business with the government among the bulk of its revenue. That includes multiple significant contracts for lunar lander services via NASA's Commercial Lunar Payload Services Program, engineering services, and a contract to design a next-gen lunar rover. In the second quarter of this year, the company's revenue hit $41.4 million, a 130% increase year over year. Patreon is rolling out new automated features for creators to convert free members to paid ones. Last year, Patreon introduced e-commerce features and free memberships, which allow fans to subscribe to a creator's public posts without having to pay for paywalled content. Now that creators have become more accustomed to these tools, Patreon is adding the autopilot feature, which predicts which free members are most likely to upgrade, then offers them discounts via email. This feature also works to offer discounts on items in a creator's Patreon shop. Every month, 400,000 free members upgrade to paid memberships, the company says. According to Patreon, Autopilot improved the rate of free-to-paid membership upgrades by an average of 19% in testing. Patreon founder and CEO Jack Conte has been particularly outspoken about how algorithmic feeds can hurt creators. When creators post something on Instagram or TikTok, there's no guarantee that the post will actually reach their followers. So it's a bit surprising that Patreon revamped its search feed into an Explore tab, which uses fans' existing subscriptions to predict what other creators they might be interested in supporting. But Patreon still acknowledges that word-of-mouth growth is a necessity for creators. For the past few months, creators have been able to recommend other Patreon pages to their followers, which might be even more useful than an Explore tab. Though monthly memberships are Patreon's bread and butter, the platform has also been exploring one-off monetization opportunities. Since June, creators have been able to offer individual posts or bundles of posts for a one-time payment rather than a recurring monthly fee. In testing, the company found that more than 45% of these one-off purchases came from new fans. Patreon cites that the music teacher Gracie Terzian started selling music classes, which are normally part of her monthly membership program, as one-time purchases, yielding a 20% boost in her monthly earnings. The feature is too new to indicate whether it will actually push more fans toward making one-time purchases rather than pledging a recurring monthly payment. For creators, these monthly payments are hugely important because it helps them predict their income in a more stable manner. But if this feature weren't advantageous to creators, Patreon probably wouldn't have launched it more broadly. Patreon's financial incentives are pretty aligned with its creators. The company gets a cut of all payments made to creators, so if creators are making less money, Patreon would make less too. That's all for now. For more stories like this one, visit TechCrunch.com.